Hey guys, welcome back to Aries EDC and another edition of TNFNU, Thoughts and Feelings and Project Updates. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I think this is like the 13th or 12th edition of this, and I'm enjoying this. I'm really excited about coming up with topics and things. This one I'm excited to share with you this week of what I have going on. It hasn't been a good week here at the house. Basically, just real quick, to start off, I'm not trying to start off dark, but you know, we had some pets, and unfortunately when you have pets and you fall in love with these pets, and then sometimes they just come to the end of their life, and that happened yesterday. It was sudden, and it was one of my wife's animals, so we're kind of dealing with that. But I look forward to coming and filming this because it gets me away from it. It gets me talking to you guys, talking about subjects that I love. So thank you. And I just want to thank you guys for listening, and your comments have been awesome. Last week we talked about where it's appropriate to carry a knife and if you guys are against some of the things. And I think everybody kind of agreed with the things that I'm saying, as far as like when there's metal detectors and those types of things. We understand that in big sporting events, I think. Yeah, but I think like sometimes when you go to a local zoo and they're going through your bag and no, you can't carry that little pocket knife with the zoo, and it's like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. But I see carrying a knife as something a little different than maybe some other people. Anyway, before I get into what I want to talk to you guys about, because it kind of ties in, I want to try something new. Earlier this week, I posted a video of some, I guess, reviews. Really, it was just kind of thoughts and feelings on some of the knives that I did. So if you didn't catch that, please check it out. I reviewed the Orion Cetus, the Vosteed Nightshade, which is amazing, and the Tempest Microburst from my buddy KC over at Knives Fast. Again, one of my favorites that I have in the collection right now, and it ends up in my pocket a lot. But what I want to throw out to you guys is, if you want to see a knife, or maybe you have a knife that you think I might like, or you'd like to see me kind of give my thoughts and feelings on, please reach out to me at AriesEDC on Instagram or AriesEDC@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Let me know. I'm always looking to do more of that. I think I don't need to be a reviewer because there's plenty of those out there, but I'd love to be able to get a knife in my hand that normally I wouldn't get, which we're going to talk about today, and share my thoughts and feelings and first impressions of it. I would never carry it. I'm not going to cut anything with it unless you've okayed like just cutting like paper just to test the sharpness. But other than that, if I don't hear anything back from you guys, I'm just going to start sharing some of the stuff I have in my collection, which is fine, but I feel like I've done that. I've shared my entire collection. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It was like a 6 or 7 part video that I did sharing my entire collection of knives, including some of the things that are on the wall behind me and some of the stuff that I don't really keep on display. But if you're interested, let me know. The reason I throw it out there is because I don't have an influx of knives coming in that I can talk to you guys about. I make knives, and I can talk to you about the knives that I make, but I don't really get a lot of production stuff in like these guys. I have to purchase them myself, and this community has been very helpful, but I am not monetized with YouTube or on Instagram right now just because of the amount of followers that I have. So it's very difficult for me to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a knife. So I did purchase one, and I'm still waiting for it to ship, and I'm hoping it does because I'm really excited about it. It kind of ticks a lot of boxes for me, and I'm going to talk about that, I think, in future episodes, and if I do. But I've kind of talked about my aesthetic and the things that I look for in a pocket folder, and some of your EDC stuff, which I'll show you some of the updates I have in a minute. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is what are your holy grails, or even your list of grails of knives that you wish you owned? That is a very difficult subject for me, and it probably is for some of you, because I think one of the biggest things that holds everybody back when it comes to grails is the price. And that is definitely it for me. I have shared many times that my glass ceiling on a production folder is right about $200. And I think the most expensive knife I have in my collection, besides my custom fixed blade that I own, is like the Three Rivers Holy Nerd. Which that's kind of odd for me to even say, because for some people that's like nothing. But it was right around $200. With shipping, it was over $200. But I just don't have that type of income that I can spend on a weekly, monthly basis on knives. I wish I could. And I think looking at the collection, I may have to start selling some stuff just so I can maybe get some new things in the collection. But I don't really like selling stuff because I bought it for a reason, and I like it in the collection. So I picked out a couple knives that I want to talk to you guys about. And unfortunately, they're knives that I probably will never be able to handle. I just don't frequent knife shows unless they're local. And there's only like one local knife show that I go to, and it's usually in January. And there's not a lot of production people there. It's mostly old school collectors and custom makers, which is cool. I like the show. I'm trying to get in to be a member of that club. I've shared with it a couple times, and when that gets closer, I'll share it on the channel. But so things like Chris Reeves. I finally got the hold of Chris Reeves at that show last year, or this year, and you know, it was my first time holding a knife, and that's a $500 knife, which is amazing, and I can tell why just by the feel of it. You can feel the quality. And things like some of the Wii knives. I love Wii knives. You guys know I'm a big Civivi fan, as you can see from all the Civivi stickers that I have, and that's only some of them. But I like Civivi because it kind of fits into the budget that I have, and Sencut and some of the other brands that are around, $150 and on down. Usually around $50 is more of my speed. But but there's some Wii knives that are really standing out. I kind of have a list here in front of me, like the Wii Hyphen. Oh, God, that thing is awesome. I love the blade shape on it. It has this kind of little that little fin on the blade, and it's just like, it's amazing. The harpoon shape on that blade, and then the riff raff. That's a really cool shape that I like. Some of the old Lamech knives, like the Busker and the Whippersnapper, the Warrenclyffe Whippersnapper, they're really cool. So I like different blade shapes, as you can tell, because I picked that one up. And the Nightshade, definitely a different blade shape. So I like things that are a little different, but I know with my price point, I'll never be able to handle one of those knives. I do have a Wii, and I would like to get a Wii Banter. That's kind of within my price range, but I don't know, it's a cool knife. I have the baby Banter, and the regular Banter is cool, but there's so many other things that I would rather get instead. The list is kind of long, but as far as like Grail knives, like some of these Wii knives really fits in. Some of the Vero Engineering, I got to hold and handle a Vero Engineering knife. It was really cool, but it was for left-handers. So I met this group, and these two guys were left-handers. They're big in the left-handed community, and they had a bunch of knives, and they're all left-handed, which was awesome for them. But for a right-handed person, it was kind of funny because it was awkward. And now I understood how they felt on a regular basis. And then you can go even further, like a Sharp by Design Void. That thing is amazing. I love the Void. And then you have the Arius. and there's a couple other knives, but those knives are so far out there, you know, beyond anything that I'm gonna be able to afford, that I've kind of given up on even owning one. And maybe one day I will, but as for right now, and then I'm a big fan of Serge Pachenko's stuff. I love his acid wash and stone finish and his aging he does on his blades, and that new, what's it called, the Rook with the shark lock or the hawk lock. Amazing. Some of the Demko stuff with the shark lock. That's kind of within my price range, and maybe one day I'll own something like that. But, you know, these are all kind of grails, and maybe there's some of your grails. And maybe you have one, and if you do, that's amazing, man. You are lucky, because I don't think I will ever be able to afford to purchase any of those blades unless something turns around in my life. But I don't have high hopes that will ever happen. But I'm happy with my products that I get, because there's so many cool stuff in the $50 to $150 price range that is in really good quality blades, really great stuff from Civivi, Kaiser, CJRB, CRKT, all of those brands. I'm probably leaving out 100 of them, and there's some that I've probably never even, like Tempest knives, Fosteed, some of these newer brands that are popping up. They're producing some amazing stuff, and I really get excited seeing it, because down the road I know I'll probably own a couple of those. But I think I'm gonna sell, probably not, but I would like to think I can get rid of some blades so that I could start building the collection again, or getting some new things in. But like I've said before, usually any extra cash that I get, especially from selling, goes right back into making and buying more steels and just that creative process. But anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. What are your grails? Tell me in the comments. I would love to hear what some of your holy grails of knives are. Maybe some that I haven't talked about. There's billions of them out there, and there's so many things that I love that I'm just not even coming off the top of my head. I tried, those are the ones that I had wrote down that have kind of piqued my interest over the last couple months. But I know that it's going to be very difficult for me to come up with any of that dough to be able to afford any of that. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and maybe get a little bit of your feedback from that. So with that being said, those are my thoughts and my feelings. How about some updates? So the Yocto and the Crow were sent out to Peter's to get heat treated. They'll be delivered tomorrow, even though I shipped them out Tuesday. So they're going to be delivered tomorrow, which means I won't get them back probably until next Friday, which is fine, because when I get those back, then I can start the handles and start cleaning them up a little bit. The Yocto is skeletonized, so it's going to stay exactly the way that it was. I just got to clean it up and put an edge on it. And Tim, it's going to be coming to you. We need to talk about, we did talk about finish, so I know what I'm going to do with that. But, or maybe we didn't. I don't remember. I have to go back and look at our messages, friend, so I can remember what we talked about. So that's going to come back, and we'll do that. The Crow, I shared with the video I did earlier this week. The handle scales, I prepped and got them ready. Basically, the scales are this. They are the orange G10 with the two colored light brown and the dark brown rich light, which is kind of a recycled paper micarta material. Very interesting. It doesn't really polish up. It gets nice and clean, but it's kind of a recycled paper material, and it's interesting to work with. So I have that. So I'm going to do that with the orange tubes. I think I'm going to acid etch and stone wash that thing, so it'll be kind of the darker blade with the nice browns and oranges. I think it'll look kind of cool. So it's an interesting color combination that I thought would look pretty neat. So those guys are all going to get done, and we're going to get those started. Then the other two that I've been working on, I shared a picture on them on Instagram today, yesterday as this gets uploaded, of the new model that I am now calling the Thorn. I shared it with you. I put a couple polls up on Instagram, so hopefully you guys were able to vote on that. I originally was thinking the mouse, but I wasn't really sold on it. And then someone suggested the stinger, which I liked, but I feel like there's a lot of stingers out there. I know I own a Ferrum Forge stinger, so I wanted something a little different, and I thought of somebody suggested a Thorn, which kind of goes along with some of the themes that I do. So I have the pedal, which was originally designed for my wife. Then I have the bloom, which is just a little bit larger size of the pedal, which was for me. Then I have the pistol and the stigma. That's 5. Then I have the bud. So you see where I'm going with the theme here. So then I had the thorn. And I had these guys both now in a really good spot. Got the handles fairly shaped. I still want to do a little bit more work on the handles. This is the yellow and black layered G10 with a black G10 liner. The black G10 pins and the tube. I think this one I'm going to keep the satin finish that I have. It turned out really nice. I got a very good uniform finish on this thing. It is a good 3-finger blade like I normally do. I'm going to put the lanyard on there with a nice pinky grip. The blade is roughly right about 3 inches, just under 3 inches. So just about 2 3/4 inches long. So not a bad little sized EDC blade. I wanted something a little bit different. That flat back spine gives it a really nice shape. So that's that one. And then I also have this one, which is the purple and black layered G10 with the red G10 liners, pins, and tubes. And this one is going to end up getting acid etched and stonewashed, just because I feel like that color combination with that is going to be pretty awesome. So again, 3 fingers, it's the same blade. So I have these 2 thorns that I am in the middle of finishing up. I'm going to do a little hand sanding on this one, a little cleanup on the flats over here, especially right here by the handle. So I got some micro scratches and stuff right in here. I'm going to clean that up. And then these are going to get acid. This one is going to get acid etched and stonewashed on top of that color combination. It's going to look really freaking cool. So excited of the way these are turning out the first time I've done it. It's a new model for me. I ended up doing a full grind on it all the way to the spine. Gives it a really cool, neat look. Very, very thin. These guys are going to be little slicers, that's for sure. So looking forward to getting these finished. They'll probably, by the end of this upcoming weekend, they will be done, and then I will be putting them up for sale. So keep checking in, because these guys will be up on my Etsy store. If you haven't already followed my Etsy store, I'll put the link in the description, or you can go to my bio, the link is there, or you can go to my Instagram, it's in there too. But yeah, these guys both came out really nice and thin behind that edge. Got to put just a little finishing touches on these guys, and these guys will be ready. Oh, I have to do the sheath. I forgot. I got to do sheaths, so before I acid etch this one, I got to make the sheath for it. So I'm going to do a good job on the sheath. I think I'm just going to do black sheaths for both, black Kydex for both, and they'll be ready. So that's kind of what I have going on right now. When I'm done with these, I'm going to start a couple more. I'm doing another naked column. which is spoken for. I'm gonna do the XL Bloom, the Bloom XL, which is basically this knife, but much larger in AAB. So I shared that, I think, last week. So I have that one on the table ready to be cut out, and I have a naked column ready to be cut out. And then I am gonna hold off on making another Yokdo until Tim and I can discuss some really cool stuff that we have going on. But I don't want to bother him, he's on vacation right now. So Tim, if you're back, let me know. Because as soon as that one comes back from heat treating, it won't take me long to finish that one up and get it ready for you. And I think Tim is making a sheath for himself, or I think he is. If you want me to make a Kydex sheath, let me know. But we'll get that project going up. I know I have some people who already want the Yokdo, which is awesome. And for those of you who have reached out and want me to make a knife, I haven't forgot about you. I have you down in my book, and I'm gonna get started on it as soon as I can get through some of these other projects that are in front of that. But I'm gonna get it to you guys. You know, I like to play with my own little things, and I like to play with new designs too. And maybe one of the new designs will spark you to want this one instead, or both. I can do both. I can do both. I can sell you whatever you want. Anyway, guys, so tell me about your grails. What are some of your grails maybe I didn't think of? And let me know if you're interested in the two Thorns. They don't have buyers yet, so I'm always looking for a buyer for knives. And again, if you have something that you think you would like for me to share with everyone, let me know. Reach out. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment or not. Again, thanks for watching, guys, but the choice is always yours.